Well, welcome back to Scotty Central. Guess what? We're working on a Scotty today. You probably saw the first couple of videos getting us started. And I'm not going to belabor the fact that we're working on a Scotty. You've seen me do that. So we're not going to make this a 6-month-long investigative reporting type episode. But there's some things that, I always tell you, none of them are the same. They look the same. They're not the same. And a lot of times people say, hey, what are the measurements on that? I don't know. I could start taking measurements and writing them down. Obviously I take measurements, but I can't, if I write them down and then I give you the measurements for the one I'm working on now, that's not going to match yours. There's no two the same. You got to work with what you got. And as I'm getting ready to show you, there's going to be a fist fight. Gonna be a fist fight on this deal if I find this guy. Somebody, before they sold it to our friend Andrea, whose camper this is, they took the time out of their day to fake fix it. And you gotta understand, no matter what job you're doing, at some point, somebody's gonna take it apart and redo it. There's Rob the Rebuilders everywhere. And they're gonna look at your work and they're gonna put you on their list of fist fights, okay? But I wanna show you a couple things. You've seen all this before, but you haven't. I wanna show you what somebody did. This is what not to do. I try to show you what to do. I'm not an expert. But I try to follow what the factory did. And I've done a few of them. So just humor me as I take my frustrations out. I'm going to vent to you. You're my people. And I really would like you to like, subscribe, ring the bell. Leave me a message. Why am I so angry? Let me show you. I got it tore down. It's a 74 13-footer. It was made in Bristow. And, as I'm tearing it apart, I just get in a rhythm. And I do this, I do that, I do this. And those weren't working very well. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong? Something's wrong. But I couldn't tell until that happened. I had to get all that out of here. But, first off, somebody put a double propane on there. So I'm wondering if somebody wasn't living in here. To have double propane tanks on this small, this is a 13-footer. Things just aren't adding up. And I don't know why. And maybe I'm wrong, which 100% possible. 100% possible. So I go and I look again. And I'm like, some of these, like what happened here? This is a 15-inch tire. We are in no danger of touching this. Why was that cut out? It's not good. This isn't super structural. We'll brace it up. But what? I don't know why. And I don't like that. This box is bigger. I don't recall the box going... it always does come out to here, but I don't recall them coming all the way over there. Well, then I look down here. Scotties were inexpensive, but they weren't this kind of welding inexpensive. There's nothing wrong with having a bigger box down here. And I know they didn't weld like this. They just didn't make these 90-degree welds. Weird. I'm going to clean this up and look at these welds. Obviously, they would not have done this. If the welds are okay, I'm just going to leave it. It's not hurting anything. But what's going on? Look around here. Then I came back here. And look here. It looks like somebody took a torch to the end of it. Right here. They didn't bother really cleaning it up. Why would you do that? That's just, I don't know. I know Scotty didn't do that. That did not come from the factory like that. Unless somebody came back on a Friday after happy hour. So weird. And over here, where they tried to weld it, they did a really poor job. So we're gonna have to fix that, obviously. So I'm gonna go over this with a fine-tooth comb because things aren't adding up. And I want them to add up, and I want this to be safe, obviously. We all do. So, after I got, it took me a while. I did this last night, took this off last night, and it did take me a while. So I'm gonna show you some things. Obviously, I tried to scab on right here. And there was a lot of things that were added to the outside that I guess I just didn't save to show you because I was so frustrated with it. Obviously, I mean, what's this? They were putting things in here to shim it up. You don't have to shim the floor. It's a floor. The floor sits flat on that. Look across there. It's flat. What are you doing? What are we shimming? Shimmed it all over the place. Why? Look here. There, great camera work. Glad you stopped by. Right there is our regular from the factory board. And then there's a board added. What for? I'm over here losing my mind. And then they added this on because Scotty didn't use this little wrinkly stuff. So that was added on. Yeah, that might be okay. Well, then I came over here to the box. Remember, we're talking about the drop down here. Let me get a better angle for you. It looks like there is some original material on here, like maybe even the floor, but the sides aren't. Look at the sides. They didn't use any of that red coated stuff like that. What is this? What's all this? And every Scotty I've ever worked on is approximately 5 3/4 inches deep. 5 3/4 inches deep. Well, I measure this one. What do we see here? Great camera work. That's 8 inches deep. So that drop down has been somewhat modified to be 8 inches deep. But will that happen when we go back? I don't know. So I'm going to make every effort to measure everything as I go back. And so just to solve this mystery, I wanted to do this video for you because otherwise I wouldn't do a video on building this floor. We've done a million of them. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But we've done a bunch of them. So why is that 8 inches? Why is this not the way it should be? Did Jim used to own this? Because Jim is 6'9" and he wanted to stand up in it. It's a mystery. Follow me along. I'm going to figure it out. I'm just not feeling just right about this. I went out here and I went ahead and cleaned out, power washed that, got it painted underneath. Then I came back in here. And the more I look at this, the more I look at that, and especially the more I look at this, something's not right. I don't trust it. I don't trust a measurement on it. I kept it just for a reference. Kept it for a reference because sometimes you'll see something, it'll spark a memory and you don't forget it. So I kept it, but I don't trust a measurement on it. Something's wrong here. I still haven't figured it out. So if you're like me, when you have found a problem, you gotta go back to the reverse engineering. So I've got to get the width. I don't trust the width on this. I'll bet it's close, but I don't trust it. Somebody's messed with it. But this is original aluminum. Original aluminum, so I'm going to measure it. "84 inches across." 84 inches across. 84 inches across. You know, these are usually 75. Huh. I think I'm starting to get a puzzle piece here. So, 84, it cannot be wider than 84. Cannot. How long can it be? Well, it can only be as long as the door side. What do we got? About 112 and a half. That's proper for a 13-footer. But you know what normally isn't proper? 84 inches. I've worked on plenty of them. I could be wrong. You know I'm not an expert. Look at this. Look at how that is like that. So, that's not right. This is factory. I know for sure that's factory. That's not. They get in a hurry, or they did, but they don't mess around like that. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, but I don't know, man. Even the roof. I rolled that roof up and got it out of the way. It's 84. It's 7 feet wide. You know what I'm thinking? And I could be wrong. One of you Scotty people out there that's done more than I have, you might tell me. Did this used to be a 15-footer that they cut down? We've got a lot of evidence that points in that direction. Much evidence that points in that direction. Even this could be. I don't know. I think so, because there's a lot of extra holes and things on the side that didn't normally come in a 13. Did we get a 13 with a ton of options? I don't know. I don't know. But it's just too wide for me to wonder what's going on.